What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday over here. Bitcoin, as we speak, is currently at about 28.3-ish. And right now, it is down a little beneath 1% as we speak. Bitcoin did get that daily candle close above the daily 200 SMA. That is looking a lot more bullish for Bitcoin and a lot of these altcoins here at the moment. We're going to be taking a look into what some scenarios for Bitcoin are ahead. Could it be actually looking more bullish in the next few days? What to be looking for? Because if Bitcoin continues going upwards, this could bring quite a bit of these altcoins up with it, as we have seen for the past couple of days. But if Bitcoin actually fakes out here and actually drops back below the daily 200 SMA, that could not be good and could drag quite a bit of these altcoins down with it. So very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin still. Now, I am going to be trying a new format here. I am going to be consolidating some of these altcoin technical analyses all into one video. So you guys let me know how you guys like it. This way, I'm less repetitive. I can actually get things done faster, and you guys will actually save time as well in looking at just one consolidated video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking about Kaspa, ICP, and Chili's technical analyses and the price predictions for these tokens, as well as some upside and downside price targets for these coins. So you do not want to miss it, because it's going to be the latest technical analysis on these tokens. Now, I'm going to be giving you guys my personal opinions and my personal, what I'm doing personally in this crypto market later in this video. So make sure to be staying around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very well be wrong. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear market. And I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, if you guys are feeling pumped and on this Tuesday morning, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. So first things first, we're going to take a look into Bitcoin, because this is the driver of the crypto markets here. Okay, so as we have talked about for Bitcoin here, the first bullish signal to be looking for here is for Bitcoin to actually get a daily candle close on top of the daily 200 SMA, which we got yesterday, and that's a pretty solid candle close here. Okay, because the daily 200 is at about 28K, and yesterday's close was at about 28.5K. That's a solid 2.5% above, over 2% above this moving average here. So in my opinion, that is a solid candle close. We do have some bearish divergence on this daily time frame, however. So something to be looking out for, right? If you compare this high right here with this high, so we have an equal or higher high. So in this case, a higher high on the price action chart, but we have a lower high on the RSI. That is bearish divergence. Usually signals a pullback, which we are getting right now. How deep will this pullback be? That is the more important question. If this pullback is able to stay on top of this daily 200 SMA, things are going to be looking a lot more bullish for this crypto markets, at least in the short term. Okay, and the next signal I will really be looking for is getting a weekly candle close on top of this weekly 200 SMA, which is currently at about this orange line here at about 28.3K area. Okay, and then finally, what I'm looking for is if Bitcoin is actually able to break out of this rising channel, developing rising channel pattern. Okay, because right now it is just depends on what time frame you guys are looking at it from. I mean, you guys can look at it from a very low time frame and might get 3 candles touching on the upper trend line here, but on a higher time frame here, in my opinion, it's a developing rising channel, and I might have switched my opinion from yesterday. Okay, because I did look at it on a lower time frame there, but I want to see it on a higher time frame. So, it's a developing rising channel pattern, which is still a bearish pattern. So very important that Bitcoin breaks out of this pattern, okay, and does not actually break down from here, because the measure target, anywhere you put the measurement here, it's going to be a pretty steep drop still, okay? If it actually breaks down in the next couple of days, that will give you about a 23.8K area breakdown measure move, okay? Measure moves are estimates only, but that is still a pretty deep measure move that I don't want to see if I was holding longs or if I was trading longs, right? But anyways, I trade both ways, so I look out for these signals and I will change my opinion very quickly. Now, let's take a look into what the bigger picture here is, okay, still. Now, the bigger picture here is on the medium term here, okay? Bitcoin is still trying to stay away from this breakdown of this double top pattern, okay, this weekly double top pattern. That measure move is going to be a lot deeper, okay? The neckline here is about 24.7K area. And now the weekly 50 SMA is above that. So that makes it look a little less ambiguous if I was holding long and that was my stop loss, or if I was going to go short, that would be basically my short entry, right? Just from a preliminary, just from my opinion right now, okay? Now, so that is basically what I'm seeing here. Definitely want to stay away from that if you're holding long, right? 24.7K, confirmed breakdown of this double top pattern. So as long as we are above this pattern here, this Bitcoin setup, as well as for the altcoins here, still looks bullish on this weekly time frame. Okay. Now let's come over here to Kaspa and see what has gone on since the last time I have talked about this coin. All right, so since last time I've talked about this coin, I did mention that there was a rising wedge here. Okay, rising wedges on this rising wedge on this 3-day time frame. Okay, now rising wedges typically break to the downside. I did not make that up. That is a technical analysis concept. Okay, you guys can Google search ChatGPT, right? You guys are probably gonna get the same answer. Do verify yourself, right? It's just a probabilities game, okay? The probabilities are this rising wedge breaks to the downside, okay? And if it breaks to the downside, I had a measure move here. Let's just say I think this measure move is still valid because we're looking at the 3-day time frame, and this would be like about 3-day three-day candles away from where we are now, and we're still pretty close to the bottom trend line here. So I think this is still reasonable. Now, let me go ahead and make that more exact. If it breaks down by the 3-day candle of October 28th, we get a measure move of about 1.2 cents area, okay? That's basically where you take the opening of the pattern and then you, that's the length of the measurement, and then you put it on the bottom of your bottom trend line here, which is still pretty steeply sloping upwards. So if it doesn't break down and this pattern still stays intact, move this measure move along this bottom trend line here, okay? Now, do want to point out there is still quite a bit of bearish divergence as well on this RSI, right? So that is still something to be watching out for if you're a bull, right? That is something to be just to be careful about, right? Because it still usually signals a pullback. Last time, I did say that I was going to be tracking the daily 200 SMA, right? I will be tracking this and putting in a limit order for a buy for a quick scalp, right? If I have dry powder, that would be what I'm doing, okay? So that has I have not been proven right on that point, right? And that's fine because I am a leverage trader. I am a short-term trader, and more so for the past couple of weeks. And it's fine to be wrong, right? I just make sure that my mistakes are not costly. So if I make a mistake, right, and this time it's not really a mistake because I'm not really losing any money. I just, if I have dry powder, I would track the daily 200 SMA. That is just me for a quick scalp on a leverage trade, right? That's one of the things I do, right? As a short-term trader. And it's a fast game, and I'm gonna be making mistakes day in and day out. And as long as I make sure that those mistakes are not costly, I'm fine with it. So far, I have not been proven right on this, and that is completely fine. Now, I will still be tracking this. And of course, that is just what I'm doing. Don't copy what I'm doing, especially if you guys don't know or have a plan in place, okay? Because it's more than just an entry, right? It is, you have to, adjust for the entry. It's not a static opinion. It's not a fixed opinion. It could change. You have to navigate, right? Basically, while you are in the position, and you have to just consistently evaluate the chart to see if you should stay in the position, right? Because things could change after you enter the position, right? At least in the short-term basis, okay? Very much so in the short-term basis. And adjust your exits as well. So if you don't know what you're doing, definitely don't just listen to someone on YouTube and copy what they're doing. That is very risky. Now, let's go ahead and take a look into some key price levels that Kaspa does need to break in order to get back to the upside. So currently, Kaspa did bounce off that bottom trend line there. I did not adjust that bottom trend line there, so it seems like this rising wedge is very valid at this point. Now, daily 21 SMA, the blue line here, that's going to be your immediate resistance, currently at about that 40, I'm just going to say 4.7 cents area, okay, just to be even. Until you get a candle close above that, I would still consider it to be resistance. Okay, so, and then the next real resistance I'm really looking at would be breaking out of this rising wedge pattern, because even though rising wedges are bearish patterns, there is still a chance that it can still break to the upside, okay? So that's going to be at least 5.7K area here. And then it's going to be sloping upwards. That's going to be your upward sloping resistance. Now let's talk about some key supports. You have just actually broken back on top of this daily 50 SMA, right? Which is the gray line here, currently about 4.4 cents area. You don't want to lose that support. Otherwise, this becomes, you would just lose the support, and that becomes a bearish retest here. Okay, that would not be looking good. Daily 200, currently about 3.3 cents area, the orange line here. You guys can repeat the same exercise, identifying moving averages on the 3-day time frame, weekly time frame, monthly time frame. So daily to the monthly, I consider those to be my main time frames I pay attention to. You guys can pay attention to whatever time frames you guys are interested in. So you guys can identify moving averages on those time frames as key resistances and supports. You guys can also look into past trading history as well on whatever time frames you guys are interested in for key resistances and supports. For time's sake, I'm not going to be doing that here. You guys have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. All right, so let's move on and go to ICP. All right, on this ICP setup here, so I mentioned last time, okay, not too long ago, price action has been running within this falling wedge, which typically breaks to the upside. If it breaks to the upside, I think where I have this measure move here is still valid as of, I just put the measure move on top of November 13th, which is fine. Just pick whatever that seems reasonable. And if it doesn't break out by then, move it along. Then, you know, if the pattern is still intact, or if it breaks out sooner, then you just put the measurements on the actual breakout date so you can actually get the measure targets, which is like, again, it's still in, it's not an exact, I mean, it's an estimate, okay? Measure move is going to be about $7.60 area. Now, this price action has been within the middle of the pattern here, so I thought it was especially important to look into the daily, to smaller time frame here and see if we can get any clues on where this price action could be heading next. Do we see a bullish trading pattern here, or do we see a bearish trading pattern here that would decide if this price action will go to the upper trend line or to the bottom trend line, or at least more likely, because not, you know, it's not absolute. There is no absolute in here. Now, as I've said last time, there was a falling wedge pattern here. Price action broke out of this falling wedge pattern. Measure move was about $3.30 area. Price action basically, you know, went up to very close to that before getting rejected. And now we are getting supported by the daily 50 SMA, which is the gray line, and the daily 21 SMA. Very important to be holding on top of these moving averages, okay? Otherwise, there's going to be more downside, of course. Now, what I am also paying attention to, which I mentioned last time as well, is that this double bottom scenario, right? That's more apparent on this 3-day time frame. The neckline would be about, I want to say it's, I mean, from what it looks like, it's about $3.35 area, okay? Let's take a closer look here. Yeah, I'm just going to say $3.35 area just to be even. If you can actually break that, then measure move would be about $3.85 area, which will get you closer to the upper trend line here of this bigger falling wedge pattern and take another attempt to breaking out of this pattern, right? We can come back here next time if it gets closer, or if anything major happens to the downside, we can also come back here. So make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know that you guys want to see more of Kaspa, ICP so far, okay? And I will bring you guys an update on these coins if enough of you guys want to see it. Now, like I said, $3.35, which is the neckline of this double bottom pattern. And double bottoms are usually bullish patterns, okay? If it breaks out of that, measure move would be about $3.85 area. Now let's take a look into some key resistances, okay? Key resistance, let me see if we are actually on top of the 3-day 21. I would still say that the 3-day 21 is still resistance because we haven't gotten a solid 3-day candle close on top of the 3-day 21 SMA, which is very hard to see here. And it's kind of annoying how I can't zoom in anymore for trading view in some scenarios like this. But $3, and I'm just going to say $3.20 area here for the 3-day 21 SMA. You got to get a 3-day candle close on top of that in order for me to say that this is no longer resistance. And then your 3-day 50 SMA is going to be about $3.75 area, the gray line here. And then 3-day 200 SMA is going to be way out there to even worry about right now, okay? So you guys repeat the same exercise to find key supports and resistances on whatever time frames you guys are interested in. Again, I look at mainly the daily up to the monthly. Now let's go ahead and go to Chili's. Okay. Chili's here. Let's come to a 3-day time frame. I think that's where we left off. Or was it the daily time frame where I can actually see 3 candle wicks touching? That's, you know, my preference. I don't think we're gonna get 3 candle wicks touching on even daily, but you know, we have the first wick there very close to touching. So like I said, I consider this to be a falling channel pattern or falling wedge pattern, which both ways it still breaks to the upside here. So we have the first candle very close to touching the bottom trend line. I'm going to consider it. I did consider it. Okay, measure move here would be about 13.5 cents area. I'm just going to say for even sake. Okay, 13.5 cents area. Price action did break out of this smaller falling wedge since the last time we've talked about it. Broke out of this bigger falling wedge as well. And then went as far up as what it looks like to be about 6.5 cents area. Before getting a rejection, coming back to about 5.4 cents area. Okay, what could this be doing here? Now it's come to a 3-day time frame where this possibly looks like another double bottom, which is not uncommon, where you break out of a falling wedge or falling channel and form a double bottom pattern. And now we do see it here on the 3-day time frame with some bullish divergence telling me that the bears are running out of strength. So it is up to the bulls to take over. Now, it is not absolute that, when you see divergence, that it's going to be an absolute reversal, but it's just a sign to me that the other side, the opposition, is running out of strength. Okay, so in this case, the bears are running out of strength, but let's see if the bulls take over, right? So this will be a double bottom scenario. Let me go ahead and move this measurement along, right? And then let me get a measure move from this double bottom, which is going to be a little hard to see on this very small 3-day time frame. And then you're going to see this neckline to be about 6.5 cents area. If this price action breaks out of that neckline, you're going to get a measure move to about 7.6 cents area. Okay, that is the measure move out of the smaller double bottom. And if this price action is able to, to surpass that measure move, then we can take a look back here. We can come back here and see what the next moves will be. Would it be another move that would take this price action further up to this bigger measure move, right? Of about 14 cents area. Okay. So that is basically what I'm seeing for chilies here, right? Let's also take a look into some key supports and resistances. Key resistance right here, very easily identifiable, would be about the 3-day 21 SMA, currently at about 5.9 cents area, 5.96 cents. I just like to keep it in a range. 3-day 50 SMA is going to be about your 7.2 cents area. 3-day 200 SMA way out there. It's going to be about 13.7 cents area. Repeat the same exercise, of course, for the daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever time frames you guys are interested in. Identifying these moving averages as key supports and resistances. Okay, let's see if we have any key supports here so far. We don't have any major moving averages that are key support right now, so we're basically underneath all the major moving averages, okay? So it seems like the key support here would basically be the all-time low. No, it's not all-time low. I mean, it's going to be coming back. Let's zoom out to the monthly time frame so we can do an exercise here very quick to show you guys, right? It's going to be coming from this area right here, about it's going to be a little hard to read, right? It's going to be coming from this candle here of March 2021, right? That was basically your support, about 5 cents area, I'm just going to say, okay? It looks like 5 cents area, March 2021. That would be your next key support right now. If that breaks down, it looks like there's going to be a pretty steep way to go. Okay, we're going to come back here and rechart this if 5 cents area breaks down and see what could be happening here instead. So if you guys do want to see more chilies, do like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know that you guys want to see more. And I will bring you guys an update if enough of you guys want to see it. Now, that's basically it for this video. You guys let me know how you guys like this format. I think it's a lot more efficient, less repetitive. I could basically just blast through quite a few coins and their price predictions all in one go. So I kind of like it. You guys let me know how you like it. You guys let me know what you guys are doing in this market. Are you guys holding, trading? What you guys holding is trading? Are you guys holding more than one coin? Trading more than one coin? How's this market treating you? Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.